Would you say that we, as humans, are perceptive and aware of what is going on in the world? Well, how about what's going on out of it? Hi, I'm V. Today, I'll be taking your curious craniums through the top 5 unexplained UFOs discovered on land. Number 5, Italy and the Vatican. Many believe that one of the earliest documented UFO incidents occurred in 1931 in Magenta, Italy, within the Lombardy region. The UFO, initially resembling a lenticular disc, crashed and morphed into a bell or acorn shape upon impact. Surprisingly, the artifact contained no biological remnants, puzzling the Italians who sought clarification from the Germans, suspecting it might be one of their experimental crafts. Italian researchers later uncovered documents revealing the incident, despite initial suppression. The Germans disclaimed ownership of the strange object, but collaboration between Italian and German scientific and military entities ensued as both nations were intrigued by the unusual artifact. The collaboration's specifics remain unclear, but it suggests a level of scientific and military exchange prompted by the discovery. The Italians, perplexed by the crash, reached out to the Germans for clarification, and it sparked joint investigations into the mysterious object. The Germans denied ownership, of course, but this collaboration hints at the international curiosity surrounding such occurrences and the cross-border efforts to understand them. While details about the discovery remain uncertain, historical records indicate that the crashed vehicle measured approximately 20 feet by 10 feet, making it sizable but not excessively large. Questions regarding its nature as a drone or a piloted craft were dismissed, as there was no evidence of occupants inside the artifact. After the crash, the military intervened, relocating the object to a designated storage location. The United States eventually obtained access to the artifact towards the end of World War II, marking one of the early instances of documented UFO recovery by the US government. Human intelligence operations were informally conducted by various entities, including the Vatican, which played a role in intelligence gathering for the United States. This background helps explain why the Pope became involved in the investigation of the UFO crash. Over the decades, insights gained from these programs have influenced various classified projects, contributing to national defense innovations. Number 4, Lonnie Zamora Incident. In the spring of 1964, Lonnie Zamora claims to have seen 2 people standing beside a large, shiny object that later launched into the air with a roaring burst of fire. Lonnie gained a significant amount of attention from the media, UFO organization and investigators, and the Air Force. Lonnie Zamora found himself in an open field after seeing what he assumed to be a motor crash from a distance. Zamora continued pursuing the crash until he saw a blaze of fire. Zamora then assumed that an explosion had occurred, so he decided to investigate the incident from a distance. It was then that Lonnie noticed a white, shiny object, originally assumed to have been an overturned white car. He described the object being oval and likened the material to aluminum. Many theories have been provided in an attempt to explain what Lonnie saw that night. Some said it was merely a mirage of the star Canopus. Others suggested that it was a lunar landing test by humans, not aliens. The president of New Mexico Tech claimed that it was just a prank put on by some of the students, saying it was just a balloon and a candle, not high-tech alien equipment. In 1966, the country's commerce president decided to make the location more accessible to tourists. They installed walkways and signage, hoping to attract alien enthusiasts from all over the country. But the tourist destination is actually not placed at the exact site. In fact, it's about a quarter-mile away. Locals claim the decision to move the pathways was due to radioactivity on the original site. Number 3, Las Vegas. In late April, the city of Las Vegas found itself at the center of a peculiar event when local police responded to reports of 2 unidentified entities falling from the sky. Coinciding with these alarming reports was a family's claim of encountering a non-human presence in their backyard. The incident unfolded on the night of April 30th, 2023, with police responding to the family's call about a strange-looking, abnormally large creature standing at an astonishing 10 feet tall in their own backyard. A colleague had reported a similar sky sighting just 8 minutes earlier, prompting the officers to acknowledge the unusual coincidence and take it somewhat more seriously. And then, yet another resident reported a 100% non-human object on their property, accompanied by separate body camera footage capturing a glowing glowing object in the night sky. About 40 minutes later, yet another resident reported two unknown entities in his backyard, describing them as 8 to 10 feet tall and resembling sci-fi aliens with large eyes and mouths. The bold declaration that these entities were 100% not human added to the perplexity of the situation. The police conducted a thorough investigation on the property for several days before ultimately closing the case, leaving many questions unanswered. To put the Las Vegas incident into context, a declassified annual report from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence revealed that the US government has received over 510 UFO reports between late 2004 and mid-2022. The Las Vegas occurrence contributes to this expanding body of mysterious and unexplained events, further fueling ongoing interest and speculation regarding the nature of these unidentified entities and their potential origins. The government's newfound acknowledgement of a significant number of UFO reports underscores a broader pattern of heightened public awareness and reporting of unusual aerial phenomena. The looming mystery of what exactly transpired in Las Vegas on that very strange and very unsettling night lingers, leaving the local community and the broader public in impatient anticipation of potential revelations about the true nature of these large unidentified entities. Number 2. Rendlesham Forest Incident. The Rendlesham Incident was a series of unexplained lights being sighted near Rendlesham Forest in Suffolk, England. The first sighting occurred in the early morning on December 26, 1980, when a security patrol saw lights descending into the nearby forest. He originally thought it was a fallen aircraft, but upon entering the forest to investigate, they witnessed a glowing object that was metallic in appearance with colored lights. As they continued to approach the object, it appeared to be moving among the trees and caused the animals on a nearby farm to go into a frenzy. The police were called, but the police reported that the lights could only be seen from a lighthouse miles away on the coast. The next morning, servicemen found small impressions on the ground in a triangular pattern, along with burn marks and broken branches. The local police investigated the impressions and rationalized it to be an animal. On the 28th of December, the deputy base commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, visited the site with servicemen early in the day. They conducted radiation readings in the triangle and in the surrounding area using standard US military radiation survey meters. They also detected a small burst over half a mile away from the landing site. On this night, the lights were seen again. 3 star-like lights were in the sky, 2 north and 1 south, about 10 degrees above the horizon. Halt actually recorded the events on a microcassette recorder, and the transcription is available publicly. He described the lights as red sun-like light, adding, "It's like the pupil of an eye looking at you, winking, and the flash is so bright to the starscope that, it almost burns your eye." The men actually drew diagrams of what the lights looked like, showing how they appeared. The drawings paired with the tapes creates a very well-documented sighting, so it's strange that no official explanations have been made about it. The lights have been attributed by astronomers as natural debris that was burning up over southern England during the time of the sightings, but still, people are very skeptical of this explanation, as no meteors were predicted to be visible from southern England at this time. I mean, come on, that is suspicious. Astronomers love to tell people when there's an astral phenomenon occurring. I mean, they actually never stop mentioning them. How many times have you heard, "It's a meteor shower tonight"? A lot, because people always know. Why would this incident be the outlier? Number 1, Roswell. The Roswell Incident is generously and fairly credited as a pivoting point for the culture surrounding aerial phenomenons today. In 1947, an object crash-landed on ranch land in Roswell, New Mexico. Mac Brazel and his son were driving across their land when they came across the wreckage. Brazel described the scene as a large area of bright wreckage made up of rubber strips, tinfoil, and rather tough paper and sticks. Perplexed by the strange assortment of items that had randomly appeared, Brazel decided to take the items into the police. The object that crashed had several crash sites. Others who claim to have seen the object crash land in different locations say that they saw small humanoid creatures leaving the ship, running away from the wreckage. About a week after the crash, Brazel had been able to collect most of the wreckage, so he drove into Roswell. Brazel brought the items to Sheriff George Wilcox, who ended up being just as confused as Brazel was regarding the origin of the materials. The sheriff decided to contact the commander of Roswell Army's Air Forces. The news worked itself up the chain of command, eventually reaching an intelligence officer named Major Jesse Marcel. Marcel traveled to the crash sites and retrieved the remainder of the wreckage. Then Marcel provided a public statement for the newspapers. The intelligence office of the 509th Bombardment Group at Roswell Army Airfield announced at noon today that the field has come into the possession of a flying saucer. Pilot Kenneth Arnold also confirmed the existence of the saucer, claiming that he too had seen a flying object. Only days later, the news ran rampant with flying saucer headlines. The Air Force released a statement claiming that the object was merely a weather balloon, but in 1978, Marcel revealed that the claim of it being a weather balloon was a hoax meant to distract the public. He speculated that the debris' origin was not of this world. Public speculation exploded with hundreds of theories as to what was found that day. To this day, the Air Force continues to deny that the debris was extraterrestrial. New theories regarding the Roswell incident continue to be talked about, making it one of, if not the most popular UFO sighting to date. That brings today's video to a close. What do you think the explanation for these incidents are? I don't think that all of the explanations are terrestrial, but that's just my expert and professional opinion as a YouTube host. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you'd like to see more of me, don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. Keep it curious. Bye!